Yay Media Group.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish Podcast, back to school time. I hope everyone's hanging in there. I have a feeling a lot of you probably get excited about back to school. Today was actually Remy's first day back to school. They start a bit later here in Mexico City because I think my understanding is that they have more days off throughout the year. They have more little surprise, no school today, like the last Friday of every month and other days like that. So, which we don't mind. It's been great. But yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing for the most part.
Yeah, it was great. Great summer. I think we enjoyed having our monkey in the house.
Yeah, we really did. It
And
was
he
nice.
seems very excited to go back to school. He had a little bit of a bittersweet morning, and last night he was a little emotional. He was getting used to staying home, but he's such a social butterfly that he's thriving.
Yeah, it went great. I was feeling a bit like a little bit of mom guilt because I found out when we went the other day to school that you can opt into kind of prepaid lunch service. And I was like, hell yeah, wait. That means, like the month of October, I really excel as a mom with lunch because I like to do fun little Halloween things in the lunch. And then other than that, I get kind of, it's always the beginning of the school year and then you get kind of burned out on it, right? Like you're not cutting strawberries.
Everything was fresh at the beginning, and at the end, everything came in a package.
I'm sure we're all that way. Yeah, for the most part, right? Like some days I'm sure the teacher's like, what is going on in their refrigerator today? But they have this great lunch service at school. It's quite affordable. And Fran and I were like, why not? Let's try it. The hard part is you don't know what they don't finish. So like I don't know what he doesn't eat at the end of the day. And I always like to check his lunchbox and see. But it's so funny at this age, at 3 years old. I don't know for those of you that have kids like officially in pre-K now is what he's in, but I look at their schedule for the day and I'm like, so what do they do exactly? I mean, it makes sense because it's kind of like, you know, I don't want to say like glorified childcare, but sort of, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not fancy childcare.
No.
So
I think it's more like glorified daycare.
like he has yoga, recess, lunch, art, and that's it. And I was like, wow, that's a nice day. No, I think it's great. I think no, we're super happy with the little school. We couldn't be happier, honestly. It's so cute. And we've met a lot of nice parents. But yeah, it was a nice morning. It's nice to also be like, wow, we're gonna be back in a little bit of a schedule again.
Yeah, I've been looking forward for that. I've been enjoying my kid, having him in the house a lot, but it's time to regain that time back.
Yeah, I had
No?
grand plans today of like, I'm gonna organize my closet since it was
And what happened?
we're recording this today, so it's actually Labor Day. But so everyone in the US is off work, but it's like a normal day here. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna use this as kind of a fun hybrid day. And what happened? Well, you're looking at it. Working, booked our trip to Disney, booked your trip to Dallas. We got coffee with friends after drop off.
Oh yeah, we had breakfast. We did it the
Yeah.
lush way.
So I
the
haven't-
easy. We eased in to routine.
Closet organization hasn't hit my radar yet. Maybe after we finish podcasting
Yeah.
today.
For
But
the next month.
no. I'll get it done. I'm gonna get it done this week because I want to go to Dallas and I want to buy some more stuff.
Do you want to free some space in the closet?
Yeah, because I think something something about moving to Mexico, which I know you kind of still laugh about it, but I think we had personal goals. Now we've been in Mexico City almost a year. So we're at like a year and a half of full-time living in Mexico. And again, definitely challenges on and off. I spent my summer taking more Spanish classes. I'm getting better at my
When are we gonna start doing the podcast in Spanish?
Nunca.
Nah, nunca digas nunca.
Huh?
If something that the Beaver has taught us all, never say never, you know?
Oh, you're making Bieber references, and I'm watching Downton Abbey.
Yeah, you know?
Y'all, have you watched Downton Abbey, by the way? I got into Downton Abbey because I've been sick for like a whole week, and Fran says this is really showing your age, but yeah, I couldn't get into it 10 years ago when it was popular because it was too slow and too old for me, and now I'm in the Downton Abbey demo.
I was telling you that you
Love it.
look like 25 outside, but you're definitely aging inside.
Yeah. No. Mentally.
Mentally,
With
yeah.
my tastes, my preferences, right?
Yeah.
I'm still sharp and good with my peptide journey. Anyway, so No, I think that part of going back to that, like a part of my personal goals, and I like to revisit it, like because I feel like people go, "Are you happy that you moved to Mexico? How's it been?" Da 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 da. And whenever I post TikToks about little life experiences in Mexico, like, the people have spoken. Those are aside from, Cooking with Remy, which I just don't do very much, truthfully, because I'm not, like, as much of a stage mom as I thought I might be, like, he hasn't been in the mood to do fit checks and cooking, so I just don't do it. He barely wants to take a photo for the most part, you know how it is, so, the Mexico content is, like, what people like to see, from, like, my online doctor, my how much is medicine? How's living there? What do you love? And I think that for me, something that I did want to achieve is kind of like shopping less, buying less, consuming less. And I wouldn't say Fran and I definitely, I mean, I agree with you on this. I wouldn't say that like where we live in Mexico City and kind of some of our day-to-day stuff, it's not that life is so much cheaper. You could definitely have that here. I mean, that's definitely an option, but I wouldn't say that our
Not that one that we opt to.
not the one that we opted into. Okay. So hey, it is still less than our cost of living in Dallas was, but it's not some like huge, oh my gosh, we're saving so much money. No. So I definitely want to say that. However, I wanted to consume less. And I have found that for me, I definitely spend less money because I don't have access to some of the ease of like running to Target and throwing money away on stuff. Like I'm not as easily able to do that. So which is a good thing for me because, for instance, this Fran can just close his ears, but the women know what I'm talking about. I've wanted to try a couple new makeup items for like the last year. Like I haven't tried Hailey Bieber's Rhode at all. Like she has these pocket blushes, okay? And I love a jelly, like a gel blush. And I have not tried them because they're more expensive to get here. I'd have to order it from the States and it's about to launch in Sephora. The products are like okay from what I've heard, but regardless, I've wanted to try them. If I lived in the US still, I was making quarterly trips to Sephora, to stock up on more
When you say
makeup.
quarterly, you say like you divide a week in quarters
No,
or a month in quarters, like quarterly, like once a month,
quarterly.
once a week.
Most adults know that quarterly means there's 4 quarters in a year.
Yeah, but
I
you were doing a lot more than a quarterly Sephora run.
No, 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 I wasn't. I promise you, I wasn't. I wasn't, but I would go and spend like $800 or something crazy because Sephora like is so expensive and I would spend a lot of money when I would go and I would stock up on stuff. Point of all of that is like when you get away from having even Amazon's a great example. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Like Amazon makes ordering stuff online so easy that sometimes late at night you'd be in bed and we'd be watching a show and I'd be like, "Oh, Remy, I'd get on Amazon because it's so convenient for getting necessities ordered." But that bleeds into other things, right? Like, oh, this is a cute outfit or this is cute for Remy. And then before I know it, I'm just like ordering on Amazon all the time because there is something incredibly gratifying about ordering on Amazon, like a new cell phone case or a new whatever, and you have it the next day. I don't have that ability anymore. Amazon functions great here in Mexico, but mañana doesn't mean tomorrow, as they say in Mexico. So, like, you'll pay for 2 day and it doesn't come for 4 or 5 days. So, I've learned that the hard way. So, you don't have that gratification. So then you find yourself with just like an Amazon cart that you don't really execute on. Anyway, the point of that is like for me, it's been really good because I have less clothes. I mean, I still occasionally will buy things, but not with the frequency and the urgency that I used to feel in the States. And I was wondering if that is ever like an addiction that's possible to break or if you can get away
You
from it.
know, that is a really interesting word that you choose. I think I was reading an
Which
article,
word?
addiction,
Oh, yeah.
about all these addictions that we've normalized, you
Hmm.
know?
Phone. I mean, I definitely still have a phone addiction. That's not something that I'm always going to use the work excuse, but like, I mean, we're all pretty addicted to phones, I try, but no, I'm super addicted to the phone.
Yeah, but it's all these addictions that we normalized, you know? And I think the phone, it's in top three of everybody's addiction, and it takes us off the present.
Yeah, it really does. It's a shame. But also, I think for me, when I had the ability to hop in the car, like when you kind of do your mindless, like take the kids somewhere, take them to Target, I would always go to At Home. Like I had that trifecta around me where I lived in Dallas. Like there was a Home Depot, there was an At Home, there was the
At home
Target
normal.
At home, is it I think I can still go, right? They're
Maybe I think
liquidating, maybe I get some deals,
yeah.
but, I would just be like, "Oh, wow, Halloween stuff, Christmas stuff," and it's so fun and home goods and all of that. I don't really have that sort of same thing at all here anymore, so point is, it's been nice because I don't have like an excuse to leave the house to go spend money and do stuff like that. And for a lot of reasons, money aside, it's a good thing, right? Because you're finding more ways to engage and interact at home. So I think just on an overall level, I did a TikTok the other day and kind of mentioned about the time spent at like long lunches and doing less in a single day, just kind of working and school and not running around doing so many things because of your inability to here between traffic and just or not having access to certain stores that I used to go to. And it's quite nice,
Yeah.
honestly, because you realize like, oh, I need this. I need, no, you don't, Jenna. No, you don't need that new coat right now. Like I just don't. So point is I'm excited to go back to Dallas because I feel like I'm really intentional with my time when I travel back because I work, I'm very like super productive, have work meetings. You and Remy are going to come to town. I'm going to take Remy to Home Depot to see Halloween, which I'm pretty sure they're all stocked up. So, because we don't have that sort of stuff here, so I'm excited about that. So that's more about the like intentional experience of things. But hey, speaking of addictions, I wanted to bring something crazy up because I'm we launched our RX part of Fitish a few weeks back with the last podcast we were doing. Thank you for those of you that had ordered. Email me feedback as we're kind of working through, desires and kinks. And it's really interesting, by the way, to determine what you are most interested in because I think a lot of women want more doctor attention. So we're kind of working on figuring out how you can just schedule like an appointment to talk to someone about your health and about what you need. And that wasn't like one of our original services we were offering, but you realized people want to you want to
Yeah, have a
hear like
doctor.
what's going on with these peptides? Like what should I take instead of just like me, I just want to like not talk to anyone and order something, but a handful of women are like, "Wait, no, like I want to
Yeah,
talk
but
to
you're
someone."
educated on what you're doing. Like that's why you launch it. But most people don't even have an idea what a peptide is.
So, interestingly, there were some studies that came out, which I don't tend to go real medical on everything, but there are studies that have reported that the GLP-1s, which are the peptides for weight loss, like the Ozempic and Mounjaro, the semaglutide and tirzepatide, that they have found with some of this, and these are like actual medical studies that I'm referencing, not just like I saw it on Facebook. So, that over time, they have found that it's really helped with addictive behaviors because they feel that, it's not just the food noise that you're not getting, which does make sense because I know you haven't, I think you tried like a little bit of a shot one time, but you didn't really take, enough of a dose to feel much of an effect. But when you take it over time, and for those of you that are interested, I think one of the most amazing parts of the medication is that you could sit here all day long and I can tell you like you're not hungry. You have to make yourself eat, right? But I think that a lot of times, a lot of us have a lot of food noise, right? Like you are constantly thinking about the next meal or a fun snack to make, or you're snacking at night, not even really corresponding it with your actual hunger cues. It's just noise of food,
Stress,
or you see something online. Sure.
anxious eating.
So food noise is completely eliminated when you're on these medications, and that's what's great. I won't say that you're not a little bit hungry sometimes, but when you don't have food noise and you don't have food cravings, it's quite incredible because you can actually make better decisions, not eat or eat something more reasonable for your body. And so they've determined now that it's not just the food noise, that it's all the noise of addiction.
Cocaine
So
noise also.
so you I don't know about cocaine, but the study was more on online shopping, that they actually found that women a lot of times, it's that kind of noise of boredom, they say that so alcohol is a great example because like alcohol, you don't want alcohol at all when you take a GLP-1, like it tastes different, especially wine or anything that leans a little sweeter because you're so like averse
Anything with
to sugar.
sugar.
You're like, ugh, right? And so, like, even wine, I'll find myself like pouring a glass of wine because I think I want one and I have a few sips of it and I abandon it. Same with my coffee because I'm definitely one of those that like destroys my coffee with creamer and Splenda. And I will have like 2 sips of coffee. Today I've had 1 sip of a cup of coffee. I just abandon it. And I used to have 3 cups. 3 cups with creamer and Splenda. And now I have like 2 sips on the days after I've, dosed a shot But yeah, I think that's really fascinating. So it's helping the noise center in your brain that's giving you these distractions of things.
So I call it like it's like bowling with guards, Like
Yeah.
when you get that off the system, when you're not like, hey, and you're like it's 10 p.m. and you see a piece of I don't know, sweets, anything, ice cream. And it takes like you have those guards. Like it's like having a bicycle with wheels,
You're snacky at night.
I'm very snacky at night, and I think I could that could help me be less snacky.
Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I feel like a gremlin has gone through the space at some point after midnight. My mom and I always laugh because we know, like, if you've stayed up late, because we'll find like snacks by the couch, we'll find some residuals in the kitchen on the island somewhere that have been abandoned, and like, so you don't cover, like, you'd be a terrible mass murderer.
Yeah,
You're really bad at like picking up
that's a
and
good compliment,
covering up your tracks. You'd be great on OnlyFans. You're about to have a nip slip today. You know
Really?
that? I thought maybe you were
Well,
coming from OnlyFans, your
you
OnlyFans account.
know, I need to, it could be a good source of income, I think.
We need to take a quick break and hear from Green Chef, one of our sponsors of the Finish podcast, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. So,
What did I miss?
I don't know, baby, probably a lot.
So, what was your five most favorite things about our summer? I like to blind side you with this.
Pulling back the curtain, 5 minutes before we started the show today, Fran goes, "So, what are we talking about today?" I kind of ran through a list of my ideas, like, well, it's been a few weeks. We could talk about X, Y, and Z.
What are you
And
talking about? We prep our
what,
content months in
and I
advance.
said to him, "What do you want to talk about?" He goes, "I don't know." And then now he's springing a top five favorite. What was the question
Top
again?
five favorite things that we did this summer, or you did, or happened to you.
Okay. So, this would have been nice to prep, wouldn't it? Or you could have given me, like, I don't know, a little bit of heads up about this so I could have a
No,
succinct,
like
nice
it's like
answer. Five, too, not even
give me
like
three.
favorite. I would say that our little vacation that we took
100%.
was really, really great timing after we really didn't do a whole lot this summer because Fran and I have just frankly had a lot of work going on. And so we've just been home working, and I think it's true. You move to a new country, it's like, um, I don't know. It's nice because a lot of things are new for me. I mean, I know it's not a new country for you, but you make a move like this. So vacation for sure was such a highlight because Remy was really learning to swim for the first time, and everything about that vacation was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. Didn't want to leave, want to go back again. So that was great. We went to an area called Mandarina in Mexico, which is near Puerto Vallarta, and it was just awesome. Like, highly recommend. Not sponsored, paid for it.
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah. No, wish it was sponsored. No. Um, second was, I think, launching Finish RX because that's something I spent like the majority of the beginning of the summer. Like, you taking Remy over to your mom's, like, let me sit here and work all day on a Saturday. Like, I put a lot of work into that with the team, and I'm really excited about that for from a business perspective for sure. So that was something that I worked on a lot for the last few months, and I'm excited to really grow that. And it really like reinvigorated me too. I think with business, I think running a business can be so hard sometimes all the time for a lot of people. And if you have a business, you know that just kind of how do you grow your business? How do you do other things? How do you pivot, but also like add new layers to your business? And so, yeah, so for me, that was like very fulfilling on a business level to embark upon that. Thirdly, I feel like my Spanish is really coming along. So, like on a personal level, Spanish, really learning more Spanish for me, it's so important and I want to be fluent, and I know it's still going to take me time, but I've really been putting the effort in there as much as possible with a couple classes a week and homework and that sort
And
of
your
thing.
accent
So,
is actually really good, your pronunciation.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I feel like oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there with that. Fourth, what would I say? Highlights of the summer.
You three. You're good.
No, I've been cooking more and I've been trying to do this more Mexican lunch hour. Granted, I have Candy she's my sous chef,
Yeah.
which means a lot of the time she's doing a lot of the work. No. So we'll like recipe plan, and I don't know if any of y'all do this. And I know this is a very Mexican way to do it, and it can also be difficult if your kids are a bit older and in sports, but people here eat lunch at, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that, right? And it's like, it's a major tradition that even like after school, a lot of times you pick your kid up from school and you sit down as a family and have, lunch. Now, I'm not sure about when men are out and working at that time, but I'm assuming you would still, when your dad was at work, you would still sit down like kids and mom in the house and eat around that time.
Well, so in my family, we were privileged enough that my dad, it was so important lunchtime that my dad came back from work
I see. Or
to eat
like,
with us. Yeah, like he used to come like around 2 and leave back to, go back like around 4.
awesome. Okay.
So,
Yeah, so it
but
is a
it was the
really
most important meal that we did together. And then dinner was just like everybody spread out in
fend for
the
yourself.
house.
That's what our babysitter Maho has said many times, that you would just like eat a quesadilla or a bowl of cereal at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock if you were hungry before bed. And that was kind of what you would deem to be dinner or leftovers. But anyway, I started working on like casseroles and one pot meals and more fun things to cook for like that 3 o'clock hour. It's actually, in my opinion, been kind of life changing because it's a really nice time to eat. Remy's usually hungry. I'm always super hungry at that time anyway, because I've only really had breakfast. So then I treat it like dinner. I think physically it's been good for all of us because then we eat like a bigger meal together at the table and it's not too late in the night. Anyway, I like highly recommend it if you're able to kind of do a sit down after school sort of meal together. It's really quite nice. So yeah, so that's been a highlight for me because that was something I was like, I want to cook more. And I'm not cooking every day, every meal, but anyway, so I don't know. So that was 4. What are yours?
So I think the first was our little vacation. I think we had so much fun. There was a lot of things that happened
Yeah.
that was so exciting, like seeing Remy just so adventurous, like going to the water without his floaties and feeling so comfortable. Road tripping it, that was like the last minute thing. We were planning to fly it, and then the airport flooded, so we decided just to road trip for 7 hours. So that was really great. I love road trips. Secondly, I'm working in 2 really exciting projects that are like kind of start panning out like this summer, one in Tulum and one in Guadalajara. And I'll tell you more about it in the next podcast. Um, Third, being able to like, I think this is the first summer in 20 years that I'm able to hang out with my family more often. Like, like be able to spend more time with them, take Remy to their house, like have that time to really talk, hang out, and just enjoy family. Like the reason we were here. Um, that's third. Fourth, just this dynamic of Remy knowing that he's on vacation, that he has like certain allowances and he gets to bed a little late, and we have this like more comfortable and easy life, which it doesn't change much because he goes to school at 9. It's not that he wakes up at 6
Yeah.
a.m. to go to.
I mean, our schedule is pretty good with him now. Yeah.
But that part was like, it's just so cool to see that excitement that vacation bring to your kid that you forget because it's been quite a bit since you had like school
Yeah.
vacation. And I'm not gonna outnumber you, so I'm gonna stop at 4.
Yeah. Five's a lot, isn't it?
No, I can keep going to 10, but I just don't
Five's
wanna.
a lot of things. No, I think that I I've really enjoyed, I think anytime that you and I are having a hard time, like with our relationship or with other stuff going on that we have that we're dealing with, I always take a step back and think how lucky truly I am to be in a position where I'm able to spend so much time at home. And I think that's something for a long time I always wanted, and I think there's something to be said about setting kind of goals of the things. Like you're never going to get everything. I mean, maybe some people, but like you're rarely going to get everything that you want, like out of a job, out of your career, out of your home life, out of your house, out of your financial situation, on and on. But I think that if you can kind of like, for me, I'm so sorry. For me, it was just so important to feel like I wasn't being like pulled in a million directions all the time. So yeah, there are sacrifices, right? Like sometimes work suffers and your financial situation can suffer. Like I make way less money now than I did when I was like on the radio and had that salary and was doing Fitish and started making money there and was doing other things. But I was also like going I was burning the candle at both ends. Like I was up, I mean, I was working 15 hours a day and I was so tired and I didn't have a relationship and I didn't have a kid and I didn't have the bandwidth to do any of that. And anyway, point of that is like, yes, so I may make less money now than I did then. And but at the end of the day, like I enjoy my quality of life a lot more. And I think that's really interesting because I always used to be this person. And I think that it's much more of like a United States mentality. And I see that a lot more living here. It's not that people here aren't motivated and don't want to make money. Like everyone wants to work and make money, but there's definitely more of a balance of mentality. And I think a lot of people in Europe, that's why people like to vacation there. It gives very much that as well. That like, yes, you work and you make money and you work hard, but when you have family time and you have time to spend, it's not like this constant rat race of like, I need this level to be happy. I need this kind of house. I need this. I don't see as much of that here. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I find that you know, people are, people are also more so friends here with people with different like income levels. Do you know what I mean? Like there's this different level of
I think
like, it's more about time spent together, if that makes sense. Like, people just enjoy friendships and family and quality time, and it's not this constant, like, wheel of
we are
achievements.
a victim of our environment. And I think we're a victim of our environment because, like, yes, we
Sure.
work so hard, we do this, we do that. And what is the purpose? Like, you work so, if you ask someone, what do you work so hard? That because I want to have a bigger house,
Yeah.
I want to have a better car. Why would you want to have a bigger house and a better house and a better car? Because I want to feel successful. And this is when you dissect everything you do for the reason that you do it, at the very end is to feel good, to be happy, to be comfortable. And you're never going to be comfortable because you always want more, you want bigger, you want greater. When you realize that you can just find the end goal.
Yeah.
What is the end goal? The end goal is to feel at peace, is to be calm, to find harmony. And I think we can find harmony in any stage of our socioeconomic.
Why do you think, though, honest asking you an honest question before we go today, why do you and I have way more harmony here? I think I know certain reasons why I had less harmony living in Dallas, right? But why do you think you have more harmony here?
So, why do I have more harmony here? I think is because we live in a slower, not slower pace that we do less, in a pace that we are comfortable where we're at. We find peace, like we are present. That is exactly why. The answer to your question is presence. We live more in the present. Like when I was in Dallas, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of things outside the
Yes,
house. And
exactly.
here we found a balance where I'm not saying that's not going to change, but the time that we have here, we are present. And that is the most important and valuable thing I believe we have.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm home a lot, but I'm also able to be. So I guess my question was more how for people that have a 9 to 5, how do you find that? And I think for me, it is doing less. It is committing to less things. I think we get in that situation. I saw someone talking about kids playing sports. And granted, when your kid loves a sport and they go, I was that way with soccer. And I know like I have an employee whose kid is that way, like with baseball, right? And they're like constantly doing baseball. And if you're a baseball parent, you're like, I mean, the baseball schedule's crazy. And if your kid loves it, of course you do it, but I think that we get kids into sports so young now. Like I didn't even start playing soccer and I was super competitive till I was 6. And now you have kids doing stuff when they're so young that they have activities every day after school. And I think we made this decision of realizing like school is like a little bit of school is enough for a 3-year-old. Like he doesn't need an activity every day after school. Now some kids have more energy than others, but all of that being said, like we find activities and stuff to do in the house, and so it's like I think we have less self-imposed pressure to like go here, do this. We also don't have as many friends here, so we don't have as many commitments yet. And right now, like dinners, and we don't
Exactly.
agree to do much stuff. So we're not like it's not like oh my gosh, I'm booked out for months like we used to be in Dallas. Like oh we have this dinner. Granted, but then we used to bail because we just like I physically couldn't handle doing so much, but I felt so much responsibility when I lived in a city where I knew so many more people to spread myself really thin. And now I just don't. And I think that that really saved me. Like, I really do. I think that it was just burning, burning, burning. And now I have a little more time to make decisions on like how I want to spend my time.
And it goes back to that. Like in my environment, I don't find anything more valuable than being able to stay in the moment, not thinking about what I need to accomplish this or do that in the future or what happened. It's just staying present, staying focused, staying with Remy and work what I have to work in that moment to make that moment
You're so in the moment,
great.
you don't book travel till the day of.
And it works for me, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're excited. Yeah, I just got off the phone with Disney World. We're going back. I said I was like never gonna take a kid to Disney until later. But like, geez, also Disney is like so expensive.
Yeah, it's a money pit
Like,
of
it's
memories.
so
It's a money
weird.
pit of
It's so
memories.
weird that any of us would be willing to spend money if we could when it's so grossly expensive, yet it's so rewarding that it's like, let's do it, you know?
It's addictive.
We got tickets to that Halloween party that we didn't go to last year because he was quite young. Mickey's not so scary. They have like a handful of nights over a couple months. And I so badly want, this is too selfish. This is selfish what I'm gonna say, but because I don't need to do it this year. But if any of you are watching and you love scary stuff as much as I do, I want to go to Universal Halloween Horror Nights at some point in time. And maybe I just wait till Remy's old enough to handle the macabre and the gore of it all because he's gonna have to be like at least 10 or 12 years old, I don't know, because it's like pretty.
Gore.
Yeah, but if any of you have ever been to Universal Halloween Horror Nights, please let me know whether California or Florida. Let me know if it's like worth it, if it's cool, if it's too crowded, if the haunted houses aren't that great, whatever, because I've never been. I didn't even know about it till a few years ago, and I would really love to do that. So
Cool. Yeah,
cool.
that's right.
Friends
At
like,
some point.
well, then if you're not that interested, maybe when we go to Disney, I could leave you and Remy in the room one night and I'll just hop over by myself.
100%.
I don't really want to do it by myself though. If any of you live in Orlando, that you're
And it's
listening,
a hike. It's not like they're next door.
yeah, Universal's like, yeah,
Like
then
in like
I'm
45 minutes.
Ubering by myself, going to the houses by myself like such a weirdo. I guess I could, but it's like it's a thing I'd have to do, which that's very selfish because like I want to do it, but I don't want to do it bad enough to like leave
You
y'all and go by
go.
myself.
We don't mind. Like I want to do it. I don't want to do it as bad as you. But yeah, why don't you do that for like have your me time?
And Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. I
Yeah.
don't wanna do it that badly. Like,
Well,
it sounds
yeah.
great if it was convenient, but it's not convenient, and also, like, I'm gonna be so tired after a park. You and I we say that, we went to sleep when Remy went to sleep when we went to Disney last year, we were so tired.
We ordered cookies, you remember?
Yes, I remember, because I posted that video and everyone's like, "How high are y'all?" And I was
We
like, "I
were.
don't even think were we" yeah, I guess
We
so.
were high.
But also just tired from the park, right? So,
Yeah.
we ordered crumble and did a mukbang, and you were, like, so disgusted at the word mukbang because you didn't realize what that was when it's just like eating a bunch of food.
Yeah.
You still didn't know the definition of mukbang?
No, my English is still
N
in
do you think
training wheels.
do you really think mukbang sounds like a word that of English language origin?
Mukbang. It sounds like some sort of
You don't think
like
it gives
something.
Asian?
No, it sounds like something like
Where's your phone?
sounds like something that happens in jail that you don't want to be a part of, you know?
A muk okay, I get where you're going with that now, yeah, sure. Okay, well, we'll keep you posted.
They mock you and they bang you, you know, like something like that.
I don't know, baby. I don't know, but that's not what it means. I think it's of Asian
No
origin.
idea.
It sounds like definitely something.
Nothing that chat would
But the
not
more
know.
why don't you pull out your phone and let's give everyone the real answer. Say ask chat real quick before we go. Where does mukbang originate from? It's M-U-K bang.
South Korea. The word is itself, it's a blend of two Korean words. Mokda, to eat, bangzang, broadcast.
Broadcasting what you're eating. It's a mukbang. See, it's not as gross as you thought. Yeah, because there's all these people on TikTok that
Literally means eating broadcast.
an eating broadcast.
Yeah, that's
Let's
it.
mukbang from Disney
Let's
again
do it.
with the Halloween treats and stuff like that. I always watch those videos. I don't even like food that much, and I'm like, "Ooh, look at this. They have, like,
Yeah.
disgusting Halloween treats." Oh, yeah, I love it. I love seeing all this stuff even though, like, I don't like it very much, but I think people love to watch, like, food videos of, of people trying things at Disney too.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's do it. Let's mukbang.
Okay, thanks for tuning in today. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.